And we're good to go.
All right, guys, introducing your first fighter for this 4-round junior welterweight attraction, making his debut, weighing in at 140 pounds, standing at 5 foot 6 inches tall, and orthodox fighter from Grand Oaks, North Dakota, Roman Nightmare Cruz. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner with a record of 4 wins and 1 KO. Weighing in at 140 pounds, standing at 5 feet 7 inches, an orthodox fighter fighting out of friendly Minnesota, Josh, the Irish Virus Clark.
Yeah, we're talking about a second-generation gym owner in Josh Clark. He's kind of got that feeling he was kind of born around the fight game.
Raised up in the gym. That makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. You can usually tell right away the technique and just the comfort level in the ring when a guy's been in the gym his whole life.
Last time we saw him fight, he didn't have a lot of power, but his technique was fantastic, especially for an MMA guy.
Absolutely.
You know, converting to boxing. You oftentimes don't see that.
Good movement, good jab, good speed.
So Josh Clark in a black trunks with the green lettering. Roman Cruz, black trunks, black title trunks, white trim. Both fighters center cage, center ring. Nice little exchange, followed up by a left hook and an overhand
Nice
right by
hand.
Josh Clark.
He wasn't lying. He said he's going to bring the pressure.
Yeah, you got Roman Cruz, Mexican descent. There is no bigger compliment than saying you are a typical Mexican fighter. Fighting in a phone booth, lots of heart, great cardio.
I think it'd be well served for Cruz to go to the body with that left hook like Mexicans are famous for and slow Josh Clark down a little bit.
I spent a little time in Tepito in Mexico City, which is famous for the fighters that it turns out.
Rugged, tough guys.
But
those
dude, there's
Mexicans.
more fighting on the street than there is in the gym. It is a nuts area of Mexico City. Ooh, Josh Clark got stuck by a left jab. Ooh, overhand right. It seems a little wild this time. Josh Clark seems to be a little wild with his right hand. He's gonna have to settle in.
You know, Cruz is making his debut here, but I can tell that he has some experience. You know, he's got 6 amateur fights as a boxer, I believe. He was an MMA fighter as well, but he looks comfortable and he looks like a boxer in there.
Absolutely. Good left hook by Josh Clark. Ooh, 1-2 punch by Cruz. Cruz seems to be falling into a rhythm of just throwing 2 at a time.
And then backing out with his chin a little bit too high. I think Clark tried to counter with the left hook over the top and just missed. I'd like to see Clark use his jab a little more.
Yeah, like we had mentioned, Clark doesn't have a lot of power, but he likes to throw it.
Yeah. Ooh, good right hand.
Left right hand by Clark to the chin of Roman Cruz. Roman Cruz continuing to march forward, putting pressure on Clark. Left right punch. It's Clark is just throwing right hands like from his hip almost, like lunging in with them.
Yeah, kind of slapping with it a little bit. I think if he straightened it out and didn't throw the overhand, I think he'd be fighting his target a little bit more right now.
So he's just leading with that overhand right hook.
That's a punch right there that Cruz has to take advantage of. Clark can't just walk in and throw a wide right hand like that, and he's got to make him pay.
You also see Clark intentionally lower his front left. Even on a wing when he's throwing that right hand, he's dropping his left. And that's an old MMA habit right there.
I'd love to see that jab a little bit more from Josh Clark right there, just to set things up. A little bit too much standing around.
Wow, left hook and a right connect for Josh Clark to the chin of Roman Cruz. Roman Cruz, as you mentioned, he's got to lower his chin a little bit.
Yeah, he's pulling out a little bit too high right now, and that's a recipe for disaster if your guy's throwing wide right hands because you just back right into it and get caught with something.
You got Nate Rubin and Raul Rodriguez in the corner of Roman Cruz.
Yeah, Rubin, a good amateur fighter from North Dakota. He's been around these parts for a long time as well.
It's a rich boxing history in North Dakota as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Virgil Hill, one of the best of all time from this area.
Amazing
light
fighter.
heavyweight champion and great fighter.
You got Eddie James Clark, Alex Satrowski in the corner of Josh Clark.
I'd like to see Josh Clark settle down a little bit this round. He was a little bit wild in that first round.
Yeah, absolutely. He's throwing like lots of punches and bunches. It seems to be like three, like a combination of three, and it's more of a like a frantic type punching rather than just like a settle down, dig your hips in and throw.
And if I remember correctly, he looked real relaxed and real comfortable in December. So maybe Cruz is giving him a little something that he hasn't seen before. So it's got him on edge. But I'd like to see him settle down here.
Absolutely, maybe a different look that he's not used to. Cruz is throwing a pretty clean right punch too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of power on it, but he's not cocking it. He's throwing it right from his shoulder.
Yeah. Nice and short, and he's catching Clark on them counter shots in between his combinations, which is smart. That's what you want to do when you get a guy punching with wide 3 or 4 punch combinations.
It's almost like a slashing right punch. Yeah. And the pressure of Cruz too. Wow, heavy right punch by Josh Clark.
Good counter for Clark then.
There's a lot to say about a 22-year-old gym owner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially with probably more than a lifetime of experience as compared to the other people that are on this card tonight at that young age.
Falling in a little bit, he's got to give himself some room to work. Clark does, and get some of those shots off a little bit cleaner. That's where Cruz is going to be important for him to be successful, is when Clark has his back on the ropes, because as we know, he likes to move, and Cruz wanted to put the pressure on him. He's got to take advantage of him when he's standing still and got his back against the ropes right there.
Absolutely. Cruz is definitely doing that. He's all pressure, and he's cutting the ring off really well, too, I might add.
Some nice counter shots from Clark.
Nice body shot.
shot.
Yeah, by Josh Clark. These fighters circling. Roman Cruz, really good head movement on Cruz. He gets caught by the overhand right, but he's going left and right rather than back and forth. A lot of maturity, as you had said. Just got to tuck his chin a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Got caught with the chin high right there with that left hook from Josh Clark.
Continuing to walk forward is Roman Cruz. Stalking Josh Clark.
He's got to take advantage of him on the ropes right there.
Well,
use that jab.
You got Cruz chasing Clark, getting him to where he's got his back up against the ropes. He's not capitalizing on it.
Absolutely.
Like, that's when you got to throw.
That's where he's got to win this fight.
Yeah. Ooh, good left, good right hook by Josh Clark. Ooh. Josh Clark returning to his corner. Roman Cruz gonna have to make some adjustments. It's kind of a hard fight to call.
Yeah,
from
it
a
is.
judge's standpoint.
I think Clark's been the aggressor for the most part, and he's landed the cleaner shots, but the one that's coming forward the whole time is Roman Cruz. A lot of judges will look for that action coming forward. So
yeah, pressure.
Clark is going to want to take advantage of the middle of the ring and use that jab a little bit more. I think one adjustment that Cruz could make is throw some feints in there. Right now, Josh Clark is getting comfortable with his back against the ropes, just waiting for one counter shot or a 2-punch combination of counters. And if Cruz gives him a feint and then throws a 1-2-3 like he's throwing, I think it will mess up Josh Clark's timing a little bit, and I think he'd have some more success if he just switched things up a little bit and threw some feints in there.
Yeah, neither fighter is taking deep breaths either. It's like they both came in shape.
They both said they had cardio.
Yeah, both fighters center ring.
Ooh. Good left hook.
Good left hook. And Cruz is kind of throwing a little more punches than those 1-2s. He just threw 4. Ooh, good slashing right punch by Roman Cruz. Again to the jab. Josh Clark is countering with almost like wild hooks from.
Cruz switch to southpaw there. See if he can confuse Clark here with this.
Wow.
Lands a good straight left hand when he did switch to southpaw.
Yeah, Roman, like you said, switching his stance, continuing the pressure on Josh Clark. I'm not sure these judges are going to count a lot of those hooks as landing because, like you said, a lot of them appear slapping. That could affect the scoring of each round with Josh Clark.
Good short little right hook from Cruz on the inside there.
Cruz ended the combination with an uppercut.
Back to orthodox, I think. Ooh, good uppercut actually right there with a little counter shot.
Takes a lot of discipline to change stances and be true to it.
Absolutely.
That's one thing catching your breath and doing it. It's another thing actually committing to it.
Back to southpaw again.
It seems to be working. It's throwing Clark off.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he found something. He just got to let his hands go a little more. He landed a nice straight left hand right away, and he hasn't really thrown it since, so I'd like to see him let it go.
Yeah, it's a 4-round fight. Oof. Josh Clark was lunging with left hooks, and you saw Roman Clark step back a little bit and follow with a hook of his own.
Nice little counter shot.
Southpaw stance is Roman Clark, still applying pressure on Josh Clark.
Cruz having a better round here. I think he might have something with the southpaw stance. It might have confused Josh Clark a little bit. Don't know if he trained for it. Didn't know if he knew that Roman Cruz was going to be a switching fighter. So,
and especially when you got to walk the other way too, it kind of puts a little pause, which is, very dangerous situation to be in.
Absolutely. Clark switching to southpaw now.
Well, I mean, it's probably your best counter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're having some issues with it, man, just go with the flow. Switch when he switches and move forward. Ten seconds left.
Ooh, good right hand by Clark.
At 140 pounds at a championship level, I think we can both agree these guys are a little big for that weight class too.
Yeah.
Like it's usually about 35. You see guys about this size and stature.
Yeah, they 5'6" is not very tall for 140 pounds.
Yeah.
They got some 140 pounders that are close to 6 feet tall.
Yes,
So.
championship height.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 135 pounds, 5'10", they refer to as championship height.
Yeah.
And the majority of the champions at that weight class tend to be close to that.
Yeah, absolutely. 5'10".
Yeah.
Some are 5'11".
Yeah.
Robert Easter was a champion from Cincinnati, Ohio. I think he was 6 feet tall at 135 pounds, I believe.
See Josh Clark getting those upper respiratory breaths in. Paul Rodriguez instructing Roman Cruz. I mean, the change-ups they made between rounds 2 and 3 did wonders. He may have stolen a round.
I think Cruz won the round. I think that was his best round for sure, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won that round on the cards.
Josh Clark circling the ever-pressing Roman Cruz.
Good left hand.
Roman kept eating those overhand right hands, and it just, once he switched to southpaw, it stopped.
Yeah. He's got Clark a little bit befuddled, I think, and Clark really needs a big round here to make sure he gets this win. It's only a 4-round fight. You only got this is the last round.
Draw.
Yeah, exactly. It might be a little bit too late for Cruz to invest into the body, but the straight left hand from a southpaw right down the gut is a punch that's there, especially when Clark's against the ropes. You just got to let it go right there. Just throw it onto the body, and you'll hit something. Even if he blocks it, you'll stop him in his tracks, and you can come with a combination after that.
What we're seeing here also is Josh Clark missing with one of those wild right hooks, and Roman Cruz looking at that as an open window, and then countering with a hook of his own. A little bit of success in doing that, which I think is what's frustrating Josh Clark. Very good cardio on both these gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in shape. High work rate for both of them throughout the fight, too. They've both been throwing their punches and letting their hands go.
Yeah, both these two got the foot on the gas pedal, and they are not letting up.
Good jab.
I think when Josh Clark is leading with those punches, he's opening himself up to just like one of those short left punches. Just maybe a little uppercut or
just a little bit too wide with the shots right now. And when you're fighting a southpaw, you want to move to your left so you get the better angle and get your left foot outside the southpaw's right foot. And Josh is moving the wrong way right now because he's moving into Roman Cruz's left hand. He wants to stay on the outside, and then he gives him a better angle to land that right hand, and he's just not doing that right now.
It's almost like a lunging attack by Clark. Roman should maybe even step aside.
Yeah, dig something down in the body when he's coming in, throw a little counter shot. And he's been landing that right hook a little bit when Clark falls in like that. He just did right there, but right there, that right hook, short little right hook.
You called it.
Again.
Roman Cruz is continuing to apply pressure on Josh Clark.
Good left hook from Clark there. Yeah. Oftentimes when you get a southpaw, the right-handed fighter will abandon his jab because he thinks it's not there. It's very important, even though if you don't feel you can land it, you still have to throw it just to give him something to look at as he's coming in. And Clark kind of abandoned his jab once Cruz turned southpaw.
Cruz coming in again with lunging left and right hooks.
Oh, good left hand.
Man, that's a hard round to call.
Yeah. I wish we had 2 more rounds.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very entertaining fight. 2 guys with fantastic cardio.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got Josh Clark.
They came to fight.
4-0, 1 knockout. Roman Cruz making his debut. Yeah, definitely not an easy fight to call.
You know, I think that fight's a draw. I think Josh Clark won the first 2 rounds and Cruz won the second 2 rounds. The third round is going to be the one that's the deciding factor, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's man, I hate to see a draw on anybody's record, but it's always like in the beginning of their career for the most part.
That's the importance of getting off to a fast start in those 4-round fights because you just don't have time to take rounds off, and you don't have the amount of time to lose any rounds. You know, you have to win every round in a 4-round fight.
My biggest issue with boxing is they're always ending on something even. Like it's either being an 11 or 13 round championship fight, or 3 or 5 round.
We do 5-round fights here in Minnesota for a lot of the cards. I'm surprised they don't do that more often, just to eliminate draws. And I think it's a good idea. Just give somebody the win, give somebody a loss.
I remember it was like, I think it was just a lot of issues with brain trauma and stuff like that, which is why they limited it to 12 rounds on championship fights. And the reason it wasn't 11, they said, well, for commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I did a little bit of research on that. It's kind of frustrating as a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a purist. Yeah.
I have 2 draws in my career, and neither one of them was very satisfying.
No, got a little sour taste in your mouth. And your opponents too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he's saying the same thing. Well, it was a draw.
Yeah.
Well,
Cruz thinks he won this fight. He's happy in there.
yeah, I think we're gonna make this one official. Not sure what we're waiting on. Yeah, Cruz is very confident that he's getting his hand raised.
Josh Clark, not so much. He looks a little dejected. I think he's a little bit upset with himself the way he finished that fight because
he got outboxed.
Yeah, he left a little bit in the ring, and I expected to see a little more from him because in December he looked so calm and looked so smooth. I didn't see that boxing like he showed in December.
Oh, there's boxing and brawling, and I mean the better boxer tonight was Roman Cruz, but the better brawler for sure was Josh Clark.
Yeah,
I mean, and it was who's more effective. That's what it comes down to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a decision. The judges have it. First judge has it 38-38. Second judge has it 39-37. Third judge has it 39-37. For your winner by split decision,
Yeah, I think there was 2 went for Josh. Now there was a draw.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a split decision.
Yeah, that's
but
a majority decision.
it's a
but,
majority decision with a draw, but at the end of the day, I think it was just more of just punching output. Look at class act, Roman Cruz shaking the hand of Josh Clark.